तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Om, may the divine lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace.
This bhajan, we praise the name of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. You are Rama, you are Krishna, you are incarnation of Vishnu in human form. You are embodiment of compassion. Whoever came to you, you fulfill their desires. You are Kalpataru, the wish-fulfilling tree. You are the salvation of suffering beings. Your name takes us across the Bhavasagar, ocean of life. We bow down to you 1,000,000 times. जय राम कृष्ण भगवान, जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान। राम तुम ही हो, कृष्ण तुम ही हो, मानव रूपी विष्णु तुम ही हो। जय हो करुणा निधान, जय राम कृष्ण भगवान, जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान। राम तुम ही हो, कृष्ण तुम ही हो, मानव रूपी विष्णु तुम ही हो। जय हो करुणा निधान, जय राम कृष्ण भगवान, जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान। द्वार तुम्हारे जो आया, जो मांगा उसने पाया। कल्पतरु भगवान, जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान, जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान। राम तुम ही हो, कृष्ण तुम ही हो, मानव रूपी विष्णु तुम ही हो। जय हो करुणा निधान, जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान, जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान। प्रभु जी तुम दाता सबके, संकट में त्राता सबके। प्रभु जी तुम दाता सबके, संकट में त्राता सबके। सबका करो कल्याण, जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान, जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान। राम तुम ही हो, कृष्ण तुम ही हो, मानव रूपी विष्णु तुम ही हो। जय हो करुणा निधान, जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान, जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान। नाम तुम्हारा जो गाए, भव सागर वो तर जाए। नाम तुम्हारा जो गाए, भव सागर वो तर जाए। चरणों में लाख प्रणाम। जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान। जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान। राम तुम ही हो, कृष्ण तुम ही हो, मानव रूपी विष्णु तुम ही हो। जय हो करुणा निधान। जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान। जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान।
I am reading from the book Sri Sharada Devi and Her Divine Play, written by Swami Kripamayananda Ji Maharaj. The chapter is Ordeals in Kamarpukur. This is after the passing away of Sri Ramakrishna, how Holy Mother faced the difficulties in her own life. Sri Ramakrishna's closest surviving relatives were his brother Rameshwar's children, Ramlal, Lakshmi and Shivaram. Ramlal was the main priest of the Kali temple in Dakshineshwar, and he and his brother Shivaram spent most of their time there. Lakshmi stayed in Dakshineshwar with her brothers and did not go to Kamarpukur with Holy Mother. Holy Mother was shy and unassuming. At 34 years old, for the first time in her life, Holy Mother began to live alone. Holy Mother was supposed to receive a monthly pension of 7 rupees from the Dakshineshwar temple authorities. But Ramlal and the temple cashier Dinu told Trilokyanath Bishwas, the owner of Dakshineshwar temple, that Holy Mother was being already taken care of by the master's devotees. As a result, Trilokya stopped her monthly pension. However, the master had left a small amount of money with Balaram. Balaram had invested this money and he gave the interest of 5 or 6 rupees to Holy Mother every month. The master's monastic disciples were themselves struggling to survive and they were not aware of Holy Mother's difficult situation. In addition, her own mother and brothers were extremely poor and could not help her. Holy Mother had rice from the paddy fields, one of which had been bought by Ramakrishna in the name of Raghuvir, the family deity. She husked that paddy to make rice and grew some spinach and vegetables behind her hut. Sometimes she could not even afford to buy salt. Swami Sharadananda later remarked, "We never dreamed that Holy Mother did not even have the means to buy salt. Whatever she cooked, she offered to Raghuvir and ate that as prasad." Generally, Orthodox Hindu widows eat one vegetarian meal a day and at night have a light meal of whatever is available, such as sweets, fruits or milk. Holy Mother had only a few saris, which gradually became worn out. Sometimes she patched the cloth or else closed the hole by tying a knot in the fabric. Holy Mother followed Ramakrishna's advice and lived alone in Kamarpukur. Because she was so shy, she knew only a few neighbors. Prasannamoyi of the Laha family, a staunch devotee of the Master, and Dhoni Kamarini, the Master's godmother, became Holy Mother's guardians. Life was difficult for a young Hindu widow at that time. An Orthodox Hindu widow was obliged to follow ruthless social rules that forbade her from remarrying. She had to wear a white sari, shave her head, and she could not wear any jewelry. Most of the villagers in Kamarpukur were not educated. In addition, they were conservative, narrow-minded, superstitious, unkind, and unsympathetic. In the name of religion, the village leaders followed their traditional caste and social values and rigorously imposed them on helpless widows. Some leaders of the society even used young widows to fulfill their carnal desires. Truly, it was a curse to become a widow in Hindu society in that era. In Kamarpukur, Holy Mother's initial problems were financial, but she soon started to face social difficulties as well. As long as Gulapma stayed with her, no village woman dared say anything about Holy Mother's lifestyle. But when Gulapma left for Calcutta, some narrow-minded conservative village women and men began criticizing Holy Mother. They complained that she did not behave as a Brahmin widow should. She did not shave her head, and she wore gold bracelets and a red bordered sari. Holy Mother ignored the villagers' criticism and continued to wear her bangles and red bordered sari. The village woman went to Prasannamoyi, whom everyone respected for her piety and mature judgment, and asked for her opinion about Holy Mother's unorthodox conduct. Prasannamoyi, who had insight into Ramakrishna and Holy Mother, said, "Do not criticize either of them. They both possess a divine nature." This silenced the villagers for a while. Fortunately, Holy Mother's visions of the Master and his repeated reassurances sustained her and gave her glimpses of her future mission. One day, Sri Ramakrishna appeared before her and said, "Make khichdi and feed me." Holy Mother understood that Master and Raghuveer were the same. So she cooked the khichdi and offered it to Raghuveer in the shrine while mentally feeding the Master. She described another vision. "I was alone in Kamarpukur. One day I said to myself, I have no children. There is no one in this world to call my own. What will happen to me?" Then Sri Ramakrishna appeared to me and said, "Well, you are thinking of children. I have left you so many of them, all jewels. In course of time, you will hear many people addressing you as mother." Yes.
Now a short period of meditation. Good morning to you all. So today's topic is overcoming difficulties of life. Just now we heard how much difficulty Holy Mother, the Divine Mother herself, had to face when she assumed the human body. There is no human being who is born and lived in this world and had not to face difficulties in life. Difficulties are a part of life. Everyone has difficulty, problems, challenges, obstacles in life. How schoolboy or girl faces difficulty when exams come, and problem of understanding subject, exams, questions, and you answer to your satisfaction and you don't get the grades or marks what you expected. So all the time there are challenges in life right from the beginning of school life. Even before that, you want food, you are hungry, then there is a problem in life. And every problem has some solution. For a baby to express its hunger and thirst, crying is the solution of the problem. For a person studying school, boy or girl, the solution is good studies and effort. When we grow and we pass our higher education and get a job, bigger problem to get a job, to get a right kind of job, to get a job that I would like to have in my own field, to get a job having the salary that I want. So like that, there are so many difficulties and problems in life. But we settle, and after getting a job, there is life further goes. Many of us, most of us get married, have a householder's life. In that, there's the problem of adjustment, there's the problem of growing relatives. First we have only our parents and siblings, now spouse, parents and siblings become our own parents and siblings, and their own more relatives of theirs, so it becomes double the relationship. Now the problems increases, joy increases, problems also increases, difficulties increases, we have to deal with so many people now. And in the job we have to deal with our colleagues, with our boss. Mostly the boss is always someone that is not very happy person to deal with. Always with the manager you have to deal. And if manager listens to you, I want a vacation, I want few days, if manager says, okay, it's fine. If somehow manager has the problem with the people and he says, this time is difficult, can you postpone your proposal for your holiday, then manager becomes bad person. All that he did good or she did good becomes all forgotten. Only the thing that I have done, then you come disappointed at home and see my manager is so bad, I asked for holiday and I was not granted. All good he was become totally bad. Good is seldom expressed. I got for vacation. No manager is just said. When manager in holiday was not granted, vacation, your off day was not granted, then only it becomes a problem. Then the person becomes problem. And so there is no time that we don't have difficulty in life. These are the difficulties that we get from external world, external situation. Mainly difficulties in life can be categorized in three main categories. One is from other beings, other human beings that we find in life, and other animals, any other living being, that difficulty. This type of difficulty in our Shastra is called Adibhautika difficulty. There is another difficulty which is more bigger and very difficult to really overcome. And those are natural calamities. Those are called Adi Devika, as if coming from nature, coming from God, Adi Devika. Earthquake and flood and storm and this type of thing very difficult to handle when they come in huge quantity, as we just saw in Libya, how many people died. in Morocco earthquake, Libya flash flood and tsunami due to high winds, and in our own eastern Canada, in Halifax, in the maritime Canada, there was so much storm and so many devastation and some deaths. So these difficulties which are difficult to overcome, and when they come and we have to face them, those are called Adi Daivika, coming from heaven as it were. We have no way to control ourselves. Bigger plans with government makes the dam for rivers to control the water flow, and the solution to know that earthquake is coming somehow. If we can have premonition of earthquake by some earthquake or tsunami, there is prediction. If we could get something scientifically, that can help. But individually, we have no role to control that thing. When they come, we have to face. When we are asked, we have to be alert, and we agree with the government's plan, and we are rescued, we are taken away, and we are saved. Like that, in that difficulties, in that way, difficulties will overcome. The main difficulty is the third category of difficulty. That is called Adhyatmika difficulties. That is relating to oneself. What are those problems that come? One comes from our own body. Weak body, disease, problems with the body. So we have doctors, we go there, try to repair it, try to adjust it. Something happens, something doesn't happen, we learn to live. But whatever is body, that difficulty we try to overcome. But the main difficulty is not from body, it's from the mind. Mind creates the havoc in us. The mind, one of the part of the mind is ego. And ego is the creator of greater difficulty. This difficulty, this category of difficulty is called Adhyatmika difficulty, Adhyatmika Shanti, Adhyatmika Dukkha. What happens? The ego creates sometimes, it is very, it creates a lot of arrogance and pride, desires, innumerable, unsurmountable desires, one after another, never quenched. So like those things create the problem in our life. Greed, from where it comes we don't know. Expectation, we think we are all right, we are performing karma yoga, we do only for others. But from where the expectation comes, oh, I did so much for that person, and that person even didn't say me thank you. Just by not hearing thank you for the person, you are so disturbed at mind. I have never seen a person like that, ungrateful, you are repenting yourself after doing so much. Like this, who created that problem in you? It's not that person not saying thank you. It's your own mind expecting the things from other. That difficulty is not created by that person. That's created by our own self, our own mind. It is Adhyatmika Kasta, Adhyatmika Dukkha. That's why when we say Shanti, 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 3 times are necessary. To say, may the divine, that the natural difficulties be peaceful, there should be no natural difficulties. May the difficulties that come from others, may that I should be able to adjust with that, and may the difficulty that is created by myself, Adhyatmika difficulty, may all those be quietened. May I not be egoistic, may I be able to control myself, control my desires. May my mind does not give me pain, does not bring me havoc in my life. Difficulties are inevitable concomitants of life. Without difficulties, how the life will be. They say, why there are so many difficulties? They say, because to conquer them is the great joy of human being. There are problems. You overcome the problems by yourself. There are situations you used to get angry. If somebody on the road rage was there, you used to become angry. Now you have grown up, you have become mature. You have learned now to deal with the people of different kinds. When you go on the road, you don't expect everyone to be very sober driver. There are many kinds of people in the world. We have become wise to know different types of people. And some drivers may be rough. You have known how to control yourself. You cannot control the driver. And from adhidaivika kasta, you don't indulge into adhyatmika kasta, being angry on that person. Rather, you have learned that, you have got that wisdom, and some arrogant driver you find on the road, then you know people are like that. You have become wiser person to understand the nature of the world, different varieties of people in the world. You have learned to deal with the world in a better way, and you have known how to have that adhyatmika shanti, that peace to generate. So that's how we try to find solution to the problems in life, overcome the difficulties in life. And when we overcome the difficulties, we are better persons. And having that knowledge, how to deal with the problems of life, then comes real joy and satisfaction in life. That doesn't matter me anymore. You become like Jain teachers. Jain teachers are so wonderful, they say, so peaceful in all circumstances. So, to overcome the difficulties in life, if we go to religion, we have the problems, how to make ourselves better. What can be the best guide to us than the scriptures, than the religion? Religion promises a lot. They say if you can really follow our dictums, our advice, and practice it, your life will be free from all problems of life. You will have wonderful, peaceful life, joyful life. Joyful not only when you have your desires fulfilled, when you have every situation according to your choice, but in adverse situation, when other people may suffer in that, you can deal with the situation which are not favorable to you. The people, you can deal difficult, challenging people in your life. Religions promise that. And they promise that if you totally follow us, you can have the vision of God. Just you follow our advice. And when God has come to you, when you have God vision, then all your desires are fulfilled. You have nothing more to want, or you have become contented in everything in life. You have achieved that peace that human life can give. Some say, you will get the happiness when you go to heaven. Whatever you couldn't do, don't worry for here. You go to heaven, there is everything, every desire is fulfilled. Some say you will fulfill here, some say you go to heaven, there will be fulfilled. And some say, if you realize yourself, which is all center of all fulfillment, then you don't have any problems. All difficulties come to an end when you know who you are. When you consider yourself mistakenly as body, I am the body, Dehatma Buddhi. When your mind says, I am the body, Deha is the self, body is the self. If you have that type of Buddhi, then there is problem, there is challenge. But you can realize the Atman, you can realize your true self. Atma Buddhi you can have. And when Atma Buddhi Prasadajam, when you realize that you are the self, there is no problem. All problem God gets dissolved when you know yourself. And if you practice religion, you can get that. And also, they say, okay, you realize the Atman. And there is, they say, you can realize, you can get liberation while living in the body. You don't have to go to heaven to have that joy. You are living your life here, doing your job, looking after your family, work, and doing your daily chores, and yet you have realized the self. You are liberated while living in the body. You know that you are the Atman. Body is just an instrument of yourself. You are not the body. If you can realize that, you will be liberated while living in the body. Some say, try to have your intellect balanced and steady. And steady wisdom you can achieve. Sthita prajna. When you have steady wisdom, what happens? Dukheshu anudvignamana, sukheshu vigata spriya. All miseries come. You are not affected. And all joys, you are not attached. Free from attachment and adversity and misery. that type of life, if your wisdom is steady, and when honor comes, okay, when insult comes, okay, nothing can move you. You are unshakable because you have attained steady wisdom. Like that, if you can have, that's what religion says, Gita says that. And in other religions say, you can attain to that state of peace, that passeth understanding, that you can understand why I am so peaceful, happy, contented. It is not something that the world could give. It is something that I have achieved. This type of peacefulness passeth all my understanding of little calmness, peacefulness, little tranquility. It is so much has been given to me. That peace is from that realization. And Buddhists will say, you can attain nirvana. Nirvana, or the cessation of all miseries. You can attain, you can reach that state of life when no miseries will ever touch you. Nirvana, cessation, blowing out, as the candle is blown out like that, all your desires are blown out, and there is so much of peace. All miseries are blown out. For ordinary men and women, these look like too tall a task to achieve. We have personal and family problems, job-related problems and difficulties. And where we go to find the solution to the problems? Religion. Religion, if it cannot solve our common problems, is it worth being called religion? We may not achieve this tall promise of the religion, but there are steps when we can progress towards such realization, towards the attaining of steady wisdom, towards having knowledge of the Atman, stepping forward to that. And every step makes us wiser, every step makes us more peaceful, and every step makes us more stronger to face the difficulties of life when we follow the religion's dictums or spirituality. We have simple problems like there may be in our household we quarrel with each other in the dining hall. We were talking something, some issue came up. Those are our real problems. How to face those? What is the solution of religion for that? Or we may have so much of disappointment with each other that we may have stopped talking for many days. We have not talking at all. Either quarreling and shouting or stop talking at all. Both are similar problems in life. And mind in that way, so much difficulties come in life. We have problems not only from ourselves or our spouse, we have problems from our children. When we see that they are doing something that we would not like them to do that, there are so many problems that children face. How to solve this problem? What religion gives solution to overcome these difficulties? Of course, religion will say, try to make yourself a better person through spiritual practice. And when you are a better person, the solutions will come to you in your own mind. God will direct you. God resides in your heart as inner being, inner soul, antaryami. And the solution will come. The thing that used to, actually when the problems came, used to be very angry. You never pondered, how can I overcome this problem? And in an impulsive way, you used to react with the problem that is being brought by others, by your own children perhaps. And you used to, without listening their viewpoint, try to impose your own viewpoint. Now with your spiritual rising, your spiritual advancement, now you listen to them, try to understand from their own angle, and then you have better solution to give to them. And then you find it is working, you have become wiser. They listen more when you truly understand them. That's how we can overcome the difficulties in life. So the spiritual solutions are like remembering the supreme truth that we are Atman. That is a great strength that we find. When we are in turmoil of some problem, some insult, some failure, some breaking down relationship, the best way to find the strength immediately, like they have emergency injections they give when there is heart problem, like that, go back to your true nature. And remember, you are the Atman. Atman, there is no problem can touch. Only problem goes up to the mind, up to the ego. And Atman is not touched by anything. It is complete. Purnamada Purnamidam. It is Satchidananda Swarupa. And that is my nature. All the problems that I am facing from the world is external, not permanent, not related to me, the Atman. Trying to assert our real nature as the Atman. I am that Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta. I am eternally pure. I am eternally aware and eternally free. That Atman I am, unrelated to anything in the world. World will go on like this, like a curly tail of dog, difficult to really straighten everything. Then something you start accepting, something will leave to the hands of God, something that you cannot do really solve the problems. What you do? What can you do for that? Nothing. Then you say, Lord, please help and do whatever is right. So that way you come to balance like that. Then by going to spiritual practice, what you do, you increase the power of decision making. Then mind or intellect becomes sharp and it can quickly find a decision to a problem. What should I do? They say in the Upanishad it is said, two kinds of things come before us. One is good, one is pleasant. One is Shreya and Preya, that are the word given. And when these two types of things come to us, when we have decision-making power developed in us through our purity, pure moral, ethical and spiritual life, then we choose what is good. And then with that thing, we start taking the right decision in difficult situations of life. And we choose what is Shreya. We don't choose what is Preya. Looking good, it seems to be early solution. I can just rebuke anyone that doesn't like. I can say to my child, no, I say you have to do that. Instead of doing that, you listen to what child says and try to find the way how to convince the child. Little difficult. It is Shreya, but when you rebuke, when you just become angry and use your sound, and that doesn't work. The child is not satisfied. If they satisfied, he will go to the school and say, my father is very bad, my mother always scolds. Doesn't understand. So we have to find that. That is called Shreya. Shreya and Preya both come to us. So when with Shreya we can find the way out. What is the best? Little effort we have to give. And for that, we have to lead a strict moral and ethical life. We know moral life. What is moral life? Being truthful. That is very important in our things. Being honest. Not to say something that is wrong. So something that is just covers up. Being honest in our attitudes. To keep the words. I said that these are all moral qualities. When you have given words to someone, you must keep your words. That is your nature. Oh, if I do not do that also, you'll find. Not that. It's not for that person. It's for you to become established in morality. You have to keep the words as far as possible. Suppose you have said you will call someone, or you'll visit someone, or you will go to some place with your friend, and something happens and you don't go. That is if you become sick, that is a different issue. But you can call them. You have to give it importance. But you should feel sorry that I said to that person, but I couldn't keep words. So strong moral foundation. And ethical foundation, not to hurt others, not to deprive others of their honor or their things. Those are all very important spiritual qualities, moral and ethical qualities. That's why they say when you practice yoga, yoga is union with God. To practice union with God, as Jesus said, when you have altercation with your brother and have come to offer flowers on the altar to God, don't offer the flowers. Go back to your brother, reconcile with him, and then come back, only then it will be accepted. So first, this moral ground, you have to be at peace with yourself and with other people whom you have to deal with. Like that in the yoga they say, first practice yama and niyama. Posture and the breathing and the meditation and control of mind will come later. If you have no foundation of yama and niyama, then no practice of yoga can be done. You can never reach God. You can never control your mind. What is yama? Yama is brahmacharya aparigraha. So ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya aparigraha. Non-injury. Have good relations with all. Don't hurt anyone. Don't hurt anyone else. This is the mental attitude. Sometimes we don't hurt anyone, but we have so much of ill feeling about others. That is hurting not that person maybe, but it is hurting you. Ahimsa is something that will bring peace to you. And no, don't harbor any ill feeling towards others. And nothing to do in thought, action or words. And don't disturb others. So that is the first of the yama, ahimsa. Satya, as I told, truthfulness, great moral and ethical quality. Satya, asteya. Asteya is non-stealing. That is controlling greed. Stealing really, stealing physically, or trying to have so much of liking for certain person. If I could have that, oh that person has that, if I could have that sort of house, if I could have that sort of car, little desire coming and vanishing is fine. But having that, possessing your mind and saying that no, that person has that, oh, and after you start liking other person's thing, then you say, oh, that person is so proud of his or her house. Once one person had invited someone. And I said, let us go there, they have invited. They went there. And after that, surprisingly, the person says, Swami, why they invited us, do you know? I said, they like company. Holy company, company of devotees. No, actually they wanted to show their house, how big and nice house they possess. Totally wrong study, because perhaps that person liked the house and had wrong idea. This is called not having asteya, like jealousy. How it comes? Jealousy without understanding, and you misunderstand other person's intention, and you are so perfect in your thought that what I have, an ego brings that. What I know the best and the right thing. This is all ego does. If we don't study our mind and come to our moral life, strong moral life, mind cheats us. Mind is a wonderful friend if it is purified. If it is made to go to the feet of Lord, if it is allowed to swell by itself and roam as it likes without any control, it is enemy. That's what Sri Krishna said in the Gita, that mind is a friend and also a foe. Uncontrolled mind is enemy. Controlled mind is a friend. When mind is controlled, is such a friend, it will lead you all to the good, it will lead to God, it will lead to the world. That makes the world so beautiful. Otherwise, if it is a foe, it reflects in the world. Everyone will seem so bad, so dirty, so egoistic. You yourself are egoistic. And you see whole world is egoistic and greedy like that. It's all uncontrolled mind that happens. So, a strong moral life is important. Asteya, brahmacharya, self-control, not giving to every passion, every desire. So self-control. Aparigraha is like not stealing, not acquiring things that are not necessary. Aparigraha is great quality that is practiced. One of the 5 ratnas, Pancha Ratna of the Jainism. They are very important on ahimsa, the first one, and aparigraha. Don't gather anything that is not needed for you. Such moral life will make our mind strong, and then we can overcome our difficulty in life. Other thing that make our spiritual life strong and make our life easy to control is the basic spiritual life of worship, japa and meditation. Worship is trying to connect to God. Connect to God through many ways. Worship can be sitting quiet and contemplating on God. Worship can be offering flowers and other articles to God. Worship can be just offering a dhupam and, to God. There can be decorating the sign or symbol or statue of God, or just decorating, offering some food. All they come under the category of worship. That makes us closer to God. Sri Ramakrishna said to two women had come to Sri Ramakrishna keeping fast, and that Sri Ramakrishna said, don't come keep fast. When mothers keep fast and they suffer, it hurts me, he said. But he said, do Shiva Puja, he said. Do Shiva Puja, because when you pluck flowers, when you gather water, collect water, when you go to think, all thoughts will be concerned with the Lord. So with your deity, with your chosen ideal, that will make you connect to God. That is worship that is needed. Somehow connecting to the deity. And japa and meditation are the best ways to connect to the deity. It is one of best worship that can be done. Japa and meditation. Japa is repeating God's name. Either you have got from your guru, or you have, some mantra you like. There are so many mantras. Any mantra that has the name of, it's God's name that is important. A simple mantra like Rama, that becomes the name of God. Or some very traditional mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So long a mantra. Or some very traditional Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, or Om Namah Shivaya. All these are great mantra. So even the simple Rama Nama, Krishna Nama, all this becomes great power of connecting with God. They are the charging cable that charges us with the power of God. And meditation on the form of God, it may be difficult, but meditation on the Leela Dhyanam, what the God did. Sri Krishna praying in the Vrindavan, and you are thinking she's troubling mother, and is having the yogurt, and moving on the ground, mother is Yashoda is following. Just thinking of this is called Leela Dhyana. Sri Ramakrishna is there in his Upanayana ceremony, and there people have come to give him alms. He said, I will take the alms from Dhani Kamarni, a person of low caste, but I have given her worth. A small boy, 5 years. And his all parents, his mother, father, brothers all saying, no, that is not our custom. You have to take from parent or from some relative. No, I will take from Dhani Kamarni. Can you see the determination, the decisiveness of this young boy? Everybody could say, no, that cannot be done. Nobody could say anything. He took the first alms from that Dhani Kamarni whom he had given words. Just now we read how this Dhani Kamarni was supporting Holy Mother, the same maid that was supporting Holy Mother when Sri Ramakrishna had passed away. So, to have the spiritual life, holy company is also very important. Holy company and visit to the temples. Company of devotees, visiting the places of worship. Occasionally we do here on Saturday. In India, every day people go to temples to do darshan. They call, I have to go to the temple before going to office. So that gives them strength to keep moral life strong. Sri Krishna says that those who come to God, may they be the very bad character earlier, but they have now changed. Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhag sadhureva samantabhya samyak vyavasito isa. Know that who come to me, though they may have very bad days, they were not of character, but now consider them to be good persons because they have rightly resolved, they have given up. There is chances to overcome all the problems, all they have not practiced. So consider them as good. And then sublimation of our instincts through spiritualization. That what we do, we can make it, we can spiritualize our daily life. How? By trying to see the divine in everyone. That it's all God is sporting through everyone. That is one way. And whatever we do, like it is the worship of God, Like we pray Brahmarpanam, Brahmavi, when you offer food, it's everything that is being done is all the same Lord, it's all Brahman. Brahman offering oblation by the Brahman, the person is Brahman, the ladle is Brahman, what is offered, that is Brahman, all is same divine being. Everything that we see is all my Ishta in various forms being done. Beautifully said in Bengali, there is a nice song, Shayane pranam gyan nidrai kori ma ke dhyan, ahar kori mone kori ahuti di samamare. So when I sleep, it is like I am doing pranam, I am prostrating to my deity, to my divine mother, says the devotee poet. And when I fall asleep, it is not sleeping, it is like meditation. When you think of the divine before sleeping, when you fall asleep, most chances are there in your subconscious mind you are thinking of the divine. And the taste is when you if you do japam and fall asleep, you will mostly find when you get up, you are repeating same mantra of God. So it must be in the dream, in deep sleep, there was the mantra going on in subconscious level. That's why it says, when you fall asleep, think that you are meditating on the Divine Mother. And when you eat, it is not eating for yourself, but you are giving oblations to the fire that is Divine Mother. So like that, spiritualize your all actions of life. And to achieve this thing, we need to have constant effort. Only way to overcome obstacles or difficulties in spiritual life is constant struggle, constant practice. That's why Swami Kripamayananda used to say, struggle, struggle, struggle. Mahabharata said very nicely, anger must be conquered by forgiveness. This is where the human religion, spiritually mature human being does. Someone is angry, are you able to forgive that, or you just want to retaliate that? The wise person will conquer anger by forgiving. You will answer of others' anger is by forgiving. And the wicked must be conquered by honesty. Somebody cheats you, somebody is wicked. You should be honest even to that person. Not only losing your own honesty, but honest to even to that person. The miser must be conquered by liberality. If this person, someone is miser, you can still be helped to them. Falsehood must be conquered by truth, says Mahabharata. So, falsehood not by any other thing, but be truthful to those who are deceiving, cheating you by falsehood. Jesus said, love your enemies. Not easy, but possible. When you are spiritually mature, we can do that. People have done that. What comes from these great spiritual gurus, spiritual teachers, are not that impracticable things. All are practical. Bless those who curse you. People may curse, may be difficult. Can you bless them? May they have devotion to God. Because they are away from God, that's why they have the cursing attitude. They find hatred towards me. They find enmity towards me. Lord, make them peaceful and make them your own, keep them in your own fold. Do good to them that hate you. This also can be done. To everyone you do good. Don't consider someone is hating you or not. Why you have to calculate that hates me? So do good to you, and in that fold comes that person also who hates you. Pray for them who despitefully use you. So Jesus said this. Every scripture, every religion would say that how we can overcome difficulties in life. When we have become spiritually mature, spiritually evolved, all the difficulties, the three kinds of difficulties, as I said, Adhyatmika Kasta, Dukkha, or Adidaivika Dukkha, all Adhyatmika and Adibhautika Dukkha can be overcome by our being spiritual. What about Adidaivika Dukkha? Adidaivika Dukkha, when it comes, you have strength grown so much that you can stand it. That you are not scared, afraid, you try to follow some solution, and some comes in such a way that you cannot survive, then you go to God. Remember God at the last moment, surrender. That is at the end of life. One day life has to end. All of us, life has to end one day. Why to be afraid of that? End of our journey of life to begin another journey from that point. So you take the name of God and you go to the lap of God. And Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother said, Sri Ramakrishna and I will have to come to all those who have taken refuge in me, in us. So we have that faith. Repeat the name of God like Mahatma Gandhi did at his last breath. She said, Hey Ram. Like that, say the name of your Ishta and go to the lap of the divine. If last Adi, Daivika, that difficulty comes in that enormosity, and that is the last moment. If it doesn't come, then as long as we live, try to live connected to the divine, to conquer all the difficulties that may come in our life. So, best solution to overcome the difficulties of life is making ourselves spiritually mature.